So I'm doing this video for anyone who may be able to relate with growing up in the same kind of situation, or and making some feel like they're not so alone, and with how they grew up and what kind of environment they were in. So when I was growing up, my even though me and my sister lived under the same roof as our parents were unpresent. Although we were always unsupervised, left to our own devices and stuff like that. And I remember at a very young age, taking care of my sister when I was only like a year or so older than her. So yeah, we lived under the same roof, but our parents weren't there. They were always off at a party, and if they were at a party, we'd be like, they'd take us to a party, and we'd go off into a room, and just no, we weren't supervised properly and stuff like that. So that's part of that, not being present. I'd go off. I remember just going off and not knowing what to do. So I'd just go down to the river and sit and chill, or find a stick and find some line and do what I needed to do just to keep myself busy. Um, that's just a small part of people, of my experience of not learning how to be present, right? So living up. So when our parents were together, which wasn't for very long, because what had happened is our parents separated 4 times before they got divorced. So we didn't go into the foster system, which we were super fortunate, but because of our parents separating so many times, pretty much all our aunts and uncles became our step parents. So our parents would break up, we'd go live with family members. They'd get back together. We'd be there together as a family again for a little while, and this would just continue. So there was no constants. There was no stability. There was no. Our aunts and uncles tried to install, in whatever short time it was that we were with them. But it was always bouncing back and forth, bouncing back and forth. My mom would run off to the States. My dad would go running after and taking us kids, and it was a constant back and forth tug and pull and tug of war and stuff like that all the time. And we went to every public school in the city we were from. We were originally from Brantford, and we went to school in the States. We were living in the States for a little while. We went to school in the States in Jewett City, Vermont. So yeah, our parents were not present. And because we grew up in an environment in that environment being bounced back and forth, and no stability, always being the new kid on the block, because we went to every school, every public school, and so we were always the new kid on the block. We were, and that was really hard, because we weren't able to build those friendships, those long lasting friendships. So I was always afraid to start getting close to someone, because I wouldn't be able to stick around very long. And neither of us, we didn't know how to build friendships or whatever, because it was just always that fear in the background of, okay, well, this isn't going to last. We're going to be uprooted again anyway. So we were just so afraid to get close to anyone, to let anyone else in. And that's taken its toll, because when I started getting into relationships, and part of my story is I've been married twice, and because of not knowing how to be in a healthy relationship, and not knowing how to hold on to good, I'd get into a situation in a relationship, and the things would start looking better, and possibly it might be something that I would want to hold on to if I had the tools, but I never knew, and everything was just going to disappear again. So I would self-sabotage, and I go from being in a possibly a awesome, healthy relationship, and it could grow into something larger and bigger and awesome. I would self-sabotage, and I'd run away from that relationship, because I didn't know how to hold on to that. I didn't know how to stay present. I didn't have any tools. So yeah. So growing up in an environment, not knowing how to stay present, and always being afraid of, okay, this is something's good's happening in my life, you know. And if I let anyone inside here, inside me, to get close to me, no, and it's just gonna hurt when they disappear anyway. So I would just self sabotage, and I would take myself. I was a runner. I know my mom was a runner, so I learned that from my mom. Things would get hard and tough, and life would get hard, and she would run away. She'd run away to the States, to whoever, and do whatever. And my dad would try to hold on to everything, keep everything all contained and somewhat structured, but it was hard for him to. And then I have a different light of my dad. I used to resent my dad so much. My first wife, I resented my dad so much. I took my second wife's last name because I didn't want to have nothing to do with my own dad, my own flesh and blood. Like I didn't, so I actually went back to my surname, and actually only a few years ago, because of all that, and the resentment, and how I see my dad and my parents. And I know today that my parents only grew up with the tools they had, right? So yeah, so I wanted to share and make this video, so someone maybe out there, it gets better. If you're just in recovery, or you're struggling with life, just learning how to stay present, and going and understanding that today that I do deserve good. I had to learn that I was deserving of the good things in life, that it was okay to have good things in my life without self-sabotaging. And I had to listen to a lot of different people's stories to see, what, it gets better, it gets easier, but I have to stick around, and I got to keep open-minded and learning how to apply these tools in my life. About acceptance, and I can't change anyone else. I can just change myself. I can't fix you. I can't fix you, but I can do my best to fix me and my perceptions of the world out there, and myself, right? I don't have to. Because before what had happened is I just made all of those agreements about myself. This is what defines me. This is who I am. This will never change. This is like written in stone, and I just felt hopeless. I didn't know how to know how to live. I didn't know how to present myself out in society. So I just isolate, because I didn't want to hurt anyone anymore. Because that's how I define myself. Only way I can define myself when I came into recovery is I hurt people. And that's not the person I am today. And I know I have good qualities. I can be of service. I have purpose today, and it's just to make sure that people know that they matter and they make a difference. And people are never alone. You're never alone, right? So there's always someone there that they have something that you need. And I try to make sure people know that they're not alone. So yeah, so I hope you enjoy this video. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to smash that like button down there and that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And I hope you all stay safe and warm, and have a wonderful day. See you soon.